Peace to everybody. This is about Michael Jackson's Bodyguard Tells All. Star was a complete mess in last days. And as you can see here in the screenshot is Michael Jackson himself. And of course, I've been exposing Wade Robson and James Safechuck. Both of them were superficial liars of what they said about Michael Jackson. But now we got the Bodyguard that tells all. The pedophilia allegations against Michael Jackson led to his death. His former bodyguard, Matt Fidelis, told the Daily Star Online. So Matt Fidelis has told Daily Star Online that the pedophilia allegations had led to his death. In an exclusive interview with the British publication, Fidelis said Jackson developed paranoia that contributed to his end, as he lost trust in everyone following child abuse claims. So Michael Jackson has lost trust in everybody, because with all these fake allegations that were going around about Michael Jackson that were not true at all. He had developed paranoia. So, when you're traumatized, yeah, you're going to develop paranoia, but this is a little too far out what this is going on because of what Wade Robson and James Safechuck have done, what they're lying. As RadarOnline.com readers know, fans around the world were devastated on June 25, 2009, when Michael Jackson was declared dead at the age of 50, amid his preparations for a blockbuster series of comeback concerts at London's O2 Arena. And so Michael Jackson was going to come back with his music and that, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Fans around the world were devastated on June 25th, 2009, when Michael Jackson was declared dead at the age of 50. The shock only got worse when the sordid details of the King of Pop's death from cardiac arrest caused by a combination of prescription drugs were exposed. Yeah, so the shock got worse when the sordid details of the King of Pop's death from cardiac arrest, and of course there was a combination of prescription drugs were exposed too. His doctor, Conrad Murray, was later convicted of involuntary manslaughter for giving Jackson a lethal dose of anesthesia at the star's home in Los Angeles. So Dr. Conrad Murray had involuntary manslaughter charges against him. Of course, he had 4 years in jail, but he only did 2 years out of 4 years. So I don't know how that could happen. Maybe he was on good behavior or something. I don't know. But Dr. Conrad Murray is no longer allowed to practice medicine again. And please excuse me because I am not feeling well still. Jackson's legacy is now in tatters after this year's HBO documentary, Leaving Neverland, exposed Wade Robson and James Safechuck's claims that the singer molested them when they were boys. First of all, Wade Robson and James Safechuck are liars. They cannot be trusted at all, and I do not understand why people are still hanging around these two liars. Michael Jackson never did anything to these two when they were boys. Wade Robson told the truth in the first trial that Michael Jackson never touched him. He told the truth. But now he violated that truth. He lied under oath of perjury. This is what Wade Robson did. He lied under oath and he perjured himself. Of course, it set off James Safechuck's trigger. Also, he lied and said, "Oh, Michael Jackson touched me, this and that." No, not true at all. It's all a lie. This is why the mainstream media cannot be trusted, because they make up lies. HBO got in a lot of trouble. Of course, the Jackson estate was suing HBO for $100 million because of these allegations that were not true. His devoted ex-confidant and bodyguard, Phidias, has blasted the men's allegations as rubbish to Daily Star Online. Yeah, so Michael Jackson's bodyguard had blasted the heck out of Wade Robson and James Safechuck because they got caught lying in that Leaving Neverland documentary. It was all a one-sided show. There was no two sides. And if you saw Chase the Truth is right there. Thaddeus also branded Jackson's accusers gutless. And yes, Wade Robson and James Safechuck are gutless men because they lied on him. He said the star was never the same after facing former boy pal Gavin Arvizo's claim in court in 2005 that Jackson had molested him. Jackson was acquitted. Yes, so Jackson was acquitted on those charges in 2005. Gavin Arvizo's claim that Michael Jackson molested him, not true, never happened. There was no police report, no anything. So that was all a lie. The owner of Thaddeus Martial Arts, who protected Jackson from 1999 to 2009, said the Thriller singer was left a complete mess by the allegations he was a pedophile. So Michael Jackson was a complete mess during that time, for those, I don't know, so many years. And of course, Matt was Michael Jackson's bodyguard from 1999 to 2009. So that's 10 years. And the Thriller singer was left a complete mess by the allegations he was a pedophile, and Michael Jackson was no pedophile because that's all a lie. It was clear after the trial verdict he was never going to be able to click his fingers and be back in Michael Jackson mode again, his bodyguard said. Yeah, so after the trial verdict, Michael Jackson was never going to click his fingers and be back in Michael Jackson mode again because of all these allegations that were against him. I mean, you've got Wade Robson, you got James Safechuck, then you got Dan Reed on top of it all, editing these documentary into 2 parts, and Chase the Truth was only 1 hour. He was like a walking dead man by the end. Eating and sleeping was a battle. He was just a complete mess. Thaddeus recalled in the interview. So Michael Jackson allegedly was a walking dead man by the end. His eating and sleeping was a battle. And of course, when you're in the music industry, yeah, it does take a lot of pressure. It does take up a lot of pressure, and it's putting on you all the time that you could barely eat, that you could barely sleep, because you got to keep making those music albums and everything. He lost so much weight, it took a big toll on him, but he was adamant he wanted to prove his innocence. Yeah, that's all Michael Jackson wanted to do, was prove his innocence, and he did. He was acquitted both times. So Wade Robson and James Safechuck need to be in jail where they belong, because, you know, with those two, they just complete liars. Michael wanted to get all this rubbish behind him. He struggled. It was awful for him to hear all those things said about him. And yeah, it was awful. Michael Jackson did not want to hear all these lies that were coming out of their mouth. Even the Jackson family knew he was innocent. How can you accuse someone of something they didn't do. Now, I believe Wade Robson and James Safechuck were molested, allegedly, by somebody else. And when they couldn't put it on that person, they had to put it on Michael Jackson because of what they went through. But yet, here they're accusing Michael Jackson of doing this and doing that. Oh, please. He had no interest in children at all. And that's true. Michael Jackson had no interest in children at all. He loved them. The children would stay at his Neverland Ranch when they needed love, or when they were sick, or if they have cancer or anything. That's how Michael Jackson was. He was helping the children to get better, because that's what they needed, was love, even though the parents couldn't be there all the time, because the parents do work. And this is how Michael Jackson was. He loved them. Thaddeus said Jackson became suspicious of even his closest friends at the time. So Michael became suspicious of his closest friends. In other words, Wade Robson and James Safechuck. Yep, you know it's going to keep leading to them. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just not feeling well today. But when it comes to Wade Robson and James Safechuck, yeah, you know they're the suspicious ones of lying. He was a man scared of his own shadow, the bodyguard said. He was a changed man. He wouldn't trust anybody. He would test us. So Michael Jackson couldn't trust anybody. He was a changed man. He wouldn't trust anybody. So what Michael Jackson did, he tested the people to see who's going to lie and who's not going to lie. That's what he was doing. He was testing everybody. Bizarrely, Jackson feared being shot. Thaddeus disclosed in the explosive tell-all published this weekend. So Michael Jackson was fearing of being shot. Of course, his bodyguard disclosed in the explosive tell-all published this weekend. Thaddeus believes all the emotions wrecked Jackson's health, accumulating in his death. So all the emotions, when you get accused of something, you're going to go through a lot of emotions. It doesn't matter if it's angry, pissed off, and whatever else you got that's going on with you. Although the star had a famously difficult relationship with his tough father, Joe, Thaddeus said Jackson's protectors were trying to reconcile them. His dad would have done a better job looking after him. If his dad had got to him, Michael would still alive. I guess they forgot the word be alive. They should have meant that, but that's all right. So Michael Jackson's father, Joe, of course, Michael Jackson tells his story that his father abused him when he was growing up, because, kids are kids. I mean, yeah, kids do crazy things when they're little, but it doesn't give the parents the right to beat on them. And of course, with Michael Jackson's father, Joe, yeah, he would have Michael Jackson go to the tree, get the thinnest piece of tree branch you could think of, bring it back in the house, and use it as a switch on him. And even with his siblings, too. Joe himself died in 2018. He was 89 and had cancer. So Joe had died years later after Michael had died. And of course, he was 89 and had cancer. According to Thaddeus, Jackson erroneously believed his fans had turned on him and was happily stunned when his London shows sold out. But sadly, he wouldn't live to perform in them. Yeah, Jackson had believed his fans had turned on him, and it was happily stunned when his London shows sold out. So that's what happened, allegedly. But I am so sorry with this cold I'm having. He just, but sadly he wouldn't live to perform in them, so he was going to do his last shows, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Despite his worldwide fame, Thaddeus said Michael had no ego. He was the biggest star in the world, but the most humble man you ever met. I'm sorry. And so Michael Jackson had no ego at all. He was the biggest star in the world. And of course, Michael Jackson done a lot of things. He's done charities. He's done everything. Tons of tours. The bad tour, the history tour, anything you could think of. He's done them all. Thaddeus said if Jackson had lived, Robson and Safechuck would never have participated in the controversial Leaving Neverland doc. Yeah, so if Michael Jackson was alive, he wouldn't have. Those two would never have never been in that documented series of Leaving Neverland. So this is why Robson and Safechuck, they lied so much on him. Oh well, he did this and did that. No, Wade Robson and James Safechuck are nothing but habitual liars. They don't tell the truth about nothing. And I bet you they've been lying since they was little. I really don't. Oh, I just want to strangle them, but I can't. They need to go back to the rock they crawled out from under and tell the truth. They are just after money, the bodyguard charged. Yes, so that's what it was all about. It was the money. This is why the bodyguard called them lying money grabbers. That's who Wade Robson and James Safechuck are. They're lying money grabbers. So they was all about the money. Just because, and they got mad because nobody would hire them, so they got to put everything on Michael Jackson saying he did this and did that. Robson 36 and Safechuck 41 have staunchly denied those charges, saying they told the truth in the HBO film. Since when has HBO ever tell the truth about anything? Or whatever? And of course, these two did not tell the truth. They lied on him. They said, well, Michael did this and Michael did that. No, it never happened. There are no police reports, and if anybody could find the police report, please feel free to do so, because there is none. So why wasn't there no police report? There should always be police reports, and there is none. 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 However, Thaddeus had done a documentary called Michael Jackson Chased the Truth to counter Leaving Neverland and prove the late star's innocent. And believe me, I've seen Chase the Truth on somebody's channel, and the truth is right there, of course. And everything in that documentary, that's 1 hour long, just about, everything's the truth in there. And I have seen Chase the Truth. So, and if you're interested in that, go find somebody's channel that has it and watch it, because the truth is all there. Jax's family had vehemently denied that he was a pedophile, and the star himself denied every allegation when he was alive. Yes, Jax's family, they denied that he was a pedophile because they believed Michael Jackson. It was their family member. And of course, you should always take your family member's side. Don't believe what anybody else says because it can get you into a lot of trouble. And then you're going to end up fighting over this and that. And then who are you going to believe? So my best bet is believe the family. Take the family side. Do not take the accuser's side. Because the accusers are liars. They don't know what they're talking about, and they had no right to insert themselves into this mess whatsoever. And I mean, what Wade Robson and James Safechuck did was a total lie, and it was a total mess what they did to him. I do not believe Wade Robson, and I do not believe James Safechuck whatsoever, because they are liars and they need to go to jail. Either that, they better go crawl back under a rock and tell the truth that Michael Jackson never touched them. Leave your comments below. I am out.